Good evening. It's 5:30 on Wednesday, October the 11th, 2023. Call the Hawarden City Council of Hawarden, Iowa to order. John and Patty are present. On phone is Rob. Also per phone is Jenny, our city attorney. If you wish to address the City Council, an opportunity tonight would be agenda item number 1C. We will be discussing with Cy and wife a little bit for their opportunity to discuss on vicious dog ordinance, so which is agenda item number 3. If you wish to approach the council, we ask that you come to the DS. The speaker is on. State your name, and just so you are aware that city council meetings are all taped, videotaped, so we'll be there, and limit your comments, please, to 5 minutes or so. First standard agenda item is approval of the September 27th, 2023 City Council meeting minutes. Council members have had that in their packet since Friday. Is there a motion to approve those City Council meeting minutes?
So moved.
There's been a motion by John. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Patty. All in favor then of the approval of the September 27th, 2023 City Council meeting minutes, please say aye.
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 That passes 4-0. Thank you, Rob. Next is approval of claims for payment for October the 11th. I'll start with Rob on the phone for any questions.
No questions.
Monty? John?
None, thank you.
Patty?
I have none.
Is there a motion for approval of the claims for payment?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Patty. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by John. All in favor then of the approval of the October 11th, 2023 claims for payment, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? No. It passes 3-1. At this point is open business from the community. We'd like to address the council.
Hi, I'm Barb Hogan. I have been working on a letter that I have promised Rick for probably about 6-7 months in saying thank you to the city and the dog park committee who did the dog park for the community. It is a godsend for people like me that cannot walk their dog. And so I just wanted to say thank you. And this is kind of in what they're going to talk about the attack that happened. My dog, I am now doing a soft muzzle with me to the dog park because my dog doesn't attack anybody, but if she doesn't know him, especially if it's a man, she'll start barking at him. So just as a precaution, I'm going to be doing a soft muzzle. So kind of take that in consideration when you talk about ordinance for the dog park, about what people should take into consideration when they do use the dog park. But thank you very much for what you guys did. And we do have a family out there now. So I did not know a lot of the people that I've met out there because of that. So thank you.
I've heard that. I appreciate you thanking the park
Yep.
board and the city for doing that.
Yep.
I've heard there's quite a few people that are enjoying it.
Oh, definitely.
So it's nice to hear that back.
Yep. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Move on then to the mayor's report. My thanks to Travis Olson for his work on our city council, being a member since January of 2012. Travis committed much time and effort into his position as a city council member. He was always prepared for and attended all regular and committee meetings. I thank him also for being willing to be the mayor pro tem and serve in that capacity on a short notice. We'll move to staff reports, please. Start with Travis.
I'd just like to report J.R. Miller, who's on our wastewater department. He turned in his 2-week notice. So after 2 years of working with the city, he's decided to go back to his previous employer. We'll run ads on the website, social media, and the paper to look for a replacement. We've recently received a refund from Northern Natural Gas from the previous rate case. That was for $27,361.13.
I think that's mine.
All of it? Okay. Well, I ran the numbers and only a part of it. Yes. So the gas customers, they'll see a credit on their November bill, and it'll be based on consumption from last January through April. So the more natural gas you use, the higher your credit will be. Most residents will see a credit between $10 and $20. Some of the commercials will see upwards to $100. So, but it is based on actual consumption through those months. That's all I have, Rick.
Thank you. Jacob?
So we're still continuing a lot with the audit process. We're getting constant emails and requests from them right now, so it's still that work in progress. Working with Tracy on some of these annual reports. We'll have one that we'll go over today. We'll have a couple more that we have to do for the rest of the year. The PD, we have our interviews at the end of this week for the police chief. And then we are also going to be starting to look towards advertising for officers starting very shortly as well, possibly next week. And next week, I will have a military trip, so I will not be available from Tuesday through Friday next week. So, and that is all I have right now. I'll still be available via phone call, obviously, but.
I've just been real busy today, worked with the attorneys over in Sioux Center on the closing of the Sushi to You purchase of the building that used to be La Chilica's or La Correda or the old Coast to Coast. Got that taken care of today. Working on the language access plan for the city of Hawarden. It's a requirement by the USDA. Basically, it's a plan that I put together how I can make things accessible, programs accessible to people who do not speak English as their first language. It's quite a document, but it'll get done. So we'll get through that, working on the fire truck grant, getting all those things taken care of with the Northwest REC and the USDA, so that should be pretty good. But that's been about it.
Thank you very much. Jenny, anything per phone?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Now to council comments. Any comments from council members? Okay, we're going to move to agenda item number 3, discussion on the vicious dog ordinance. On Saturday, September 30th, I came in and visited with Jacob. Jacob's just going to give us an overview of where we are currently with that we've discussed that in the previous past time. So.
Yeah, so last week Cy came and visited with me to discuss the attack that happened at the dog park. And we were looking at that this happened on September 30th. And so I started taking a look at our ordinance and used to think that it was against state law to do a breed ban, but it is not against state law to do a breed ban. It's up to a local authority. What I will say is in October of 2021, we actually brought that ordinance forward to remove the pit bull breed ban according to the advice from our attorney at the time. That is not the only ordinance that we looked at when it came to dogs. We were also looking at other things that we could do with dogs at large that we were, and we kind of made those rules a little bit more stringent as well. So outside of those, that's kind of just a gist of what we have done as a city in the recent past. I do have our dog park rules that I could go over as well that that is posted out there. Currently, the rules that are posted at the dog park are to use it at your own risk. Owners are legally responsible for the behavior of their dogs at all times. They must be leashed while entering and exiting the park. Their waste must be cleaned up by their owners immediately. Owners must be within the dog park and supervising their dog with leash readily available. Dog handlers must be at least 16 years of age. Children under 13 must be accompanied by an adult and supervised at all times. Aggressive dogs must be removed immediately, and dogs should be under voice control. And the prohibited items at the dog park are human and dog food / treats, glass containers, any dog that's in heat, any dog that is sick, aggressive dogs, and puppies under 4 months. With that being said, that's all the lead up that I have for this.
Hi, my name is Cy McMahon. My wife Jen and I live here in Hawarden. Lived here for just over 6 years, and I want to reiterate what Barb said. Thank you for the dog park. It's a huge blessing. I'm a pastor in town, and it's actually been a massive ministry area where we talk to people we've never see in our church, and it's just been awesome. So thank you for doing that. So as Jacob said, my wife Jen was attacked by a pit bull on September 30th of this year, which is almost 6 months to the day after my dog was attacked by 4 pit bulls. Pounced on. Both attacks were unprovoked. We're there 2 to 3 times a day, every day since about 2 weeks before it was opened, and we've had 2 incidences at the dog park, and both have been pit bulls. We've had no other problems at all with anyone. I'm going to pass around pictures of the injuries that were sustained by my wife. So can you pass those for me, Carol? So there's 2 things that I want to talk about. One is clarity on what will happen to the dog that attacked my wife unprovoked. In my viewpoint, there should be zero lenience on a dog that would unprovoked attack a human, especially with this ferocity, and that the dog should be put down. I have not been made aware of what is going to happen to the dog, what has happened to the dog. We haven't been updated. We were told when the case was taken by one of the sheriff's deputies who was serving for the city at the time. He said he handed it over to the city and the city police department. Since then, I've heard nothing. And I want to talk about that. I hope that the dog's put down. I hope you guys will make sure that's followed through with to protect your citizens. Second thing is I want you to at least consider a breed ban on pit bulls. Like I said before, we've been in the dog park hundreds of times with our dogs, with a number of dogs, and had 0 incidences except for 2 times being in the presence of pit bulls where we were attacked. 6 months apart. It seems to be fairly specific. I don't know why the decision was made to move away from that, but it's pretty clear that as both these attacks were unprovoked, that it's not safe. Thank God, as Jacob was reading the rules, there were no children 13 years or younger in the park. It wasn't a child that was attacked, because it would have been a lot worse and it would have been a lot different conversation. The attack, so you've all seen the pictures now, the attack lasted 7 seconds. And that was the damage that was done in 7 seconds. So I hope you'll consider it. I hope you won't just brush me aside and say, well, we don't have time for this. We're afraid we're going to get sued by somebody else who likes pit bulls. I hope you won't do that. I hope you actually consider it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sir, I just want, okay. Did you say your small dog was attacked by 4 pit bulls?
Not a small dog, so that's a 92-pound golden doodle.
Okay.
So Diesel, you could probably ask around town, Diesel's only thing he can attack with is his tail. He's the sweetest dog on the planet, and a female pit bull bit him in the back, and when he yelped at that, the other 3 all jumped on him all at once. And I spent 5 minutes punching, kicking, dragging pit bulls, throwing them, and they kept coming back for more repeatedly as I tried to pull them off.
Can I interject? She was in
She was in heat. There you go. Which I understand, there's a non-ordinance dog park rule against that.
How many times was your dog bit? I mean, was it,
No
were you
idea.
bit?
I was
Trying to,
not. I was violent. Yeah, it ripped his ear off. So a huge hole out of his ear.
well, we don't want these kind of things in the dog park, and I appreciate you coming, and I feel sorry for your wife, and I hope she recovers, and
Thank you.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate.
you want
wish
people to enjoy it, yeah,
Yeah.
just like you all have, but
Yeah, we'll talk about it and
We'll
see if
talk
there's a
more.
way to enforce
All right.
something.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
And thanks for your understanding to realize that nothing will be completed tonight, since this is a
Yeah.
discussion.
Yep. Thanks, Phyllis.
I'll be forgotten. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Anything else in that regard that,
What happened to the dog?
pardon?
What happened to the dog?
As of right now, and I'm still trying to find out what can happen, because I don't know, the dog and owner live in Alcester. So we have almost no jurisdiction over any of that right now. So we have served the owner that that the dog is not allowed back in city property anywhere, not even like in a passenger seat of a car at the gas station, like not allowed in the city limits of Hawarden at all. As far as anything further, I have not heard back yet on anything else can happen.
Anything from Rob or Jenny before we move on from that item?
No, no. I think you guys covered it all.
I would just like to, I guess, express my condolences and concern about the issue. I have been in communication right away with Jacob about what can be done. The city definitely was proactive about what we can do. I have had discussions about the constitutionality of a specific breed ban, and that remains the biggest concern. However, I mean, I think the city can take steps to put in strict requirements on a vicious dog ordinance, but as far as a specific breed brand, and I understand it's been the same breed both times, there are challenges with that.
Okay, thank you. Well, then obviously have a further discussion at more meetings to go over their concerns. Is that sufficient for that? We'll move on then to agenda item number 4, discussion of the sale of the fire truck.
All right, so between the last meeting and now, we have received a offer on one of those trucks that did not get any bids from residents here in town. But then it was also suggested that we should probably put these trucks on an online auction to give them a wider reach for more people to be able to bid on them than just having a local and sealed bid here. So it was suggested to use Purple Wave to do this because they do not charge cities to use their services, and we have used it for the ambulance and a few other vehicles that we've sold in the past. So that is my suggestion, is that we just take those trucks and put them on Purple Wave, and those interested in buying in them can bid on them there, and then if nobody else bids on them, then we go forward with that. That would be my suggestion for moving forward with the sale of the fire truck.
How long of a time?
I will have to find out from the others how long we normally put it on for, but I would say that we would keep it about the same.
Thoughts from council?
Turn it into money.
Do we know what we hope to get for them?
So our sealed bids, we asked for a minimum of 20,000, and the current offer is for 15,000 for one of them. So could be the issue of why we didn't get any, but it also could be that we didn't have a far enough reach.
I have no problem with putting it on there.
Nope. Neither.
And then I'll probably have them move the minimum to 15 just so that they can have their bid in there and then see what we get from there.
That's fair.
Sounds good.
No, I'm okay with it.
And you'll let the current bidders know that that's,
Correct. We'll get a hold of them. We'll let them know what we decided and let them know how they can get their bid back in there.
thank you very much. Agenda item number 5, approval of the pay request number 5 to Holstein Excavating Avenue L project, the amount of $132,540.15. Travis, how's that all going there?
Good. This payment plus all the previous comes to $1,569,017.15, and plus $89,555.65 for retainage. We keep 5% until the end of the project. So this is all the concrete except for a few sidewalks and pavement, painting, fertilizing, seeding, a few of the mailbox and signage.
So how much have you paid them again?
We have paid them $1,569,017.15 before this.
$1.5 million.
Yes.
They've done a really good job, at least in front of my house today. They were seeding and grading, and it's like almost perfect.
Really-
they've
really
been
trying to get
really
done
good to
before the
work
rain.
with. I've talked to many of them out there, and they're very nice. They've done a great job.
On the adjoining topic, could you do me a favor and put a street sign on Avenue I that says Avenue L is now open?
Right.
My God, the traffic.
Yeah, they should pull the signs next week.
Yeah, they're still backfilling, right, and things with their...
Yeah, they'll pull the signs next week.
Is
It's
there a
been,
motion for approval of the pay request number 5 to Holstein Excavating?
So
I make a motion, well, John.
Moved by John, seconded by Patty. All in favor of the approval of the pay request number 5 to Holstein Excavating, please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Those opposed? It passes 4-0. Agenda item number 6, approval of a hire for Public Works Administrative Assistant.
So last week, we had our interviews, and we came up with our top choice as Carrie Tomlinson. She is very eager to start, and she has all the skills necessary, and I think she's going to be a great addition with her personality and her work experience.
Good.
Is there a motion to hire the Public Works Administrative Assistant?
I
I
make a
don't know
motion.
why we only got that information tonight, I guess.
You mean with the name?
Well, yeah.
Well, when I was asking about that, I asked Jenny whether or not to include the name in the packet, and I think that she said it was not a good idea to leave it in, put it in the packet.
That is true. In the past, I haven't been able to do that either.
Well, it seems very difficult for me to say, yes, let's hire this person when I've known about her for all of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We have to be able to count on the city staff to do the interview and making,
But we've done that before, and look what it got us.
I understand.
I'll speak up. I did advise Jacob not to include the other applicants. I believe it's the council's duty to approve based upon who was nominated, not necessarily the other applicants. So because of confidentiality reasons, some of these applicants may not have provided their employer notice. They're applying for the positions. I don't think it's appropriate to provide the entire applicant list.
I didn't want the entire list, just a person that we're gonna hire before the meeting.
And we could probably do that moving forward. It sounds like I just misunderstood what she was saying, and we're kind of new to this process, so we were just trying
just
to,
seemed to
and we were trying to do it ahead of time for, we haven't passed the ordinances yet, but we were just trying to get in the flow of figuring out how it works.
Well, you're
But-
gonna mark me down as not in favor of the way you chose this time.
Satisfied and believe she's the best fit.
Yes, I absolutely do believe she's the best fit.
So moved.
Been a motion by John, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rob. All in favor of the approval of the hire for the Public Works Administrative Assistant, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 4-0. Move on to agenda item number 7. This would be a resolution 2023-72, street finance report.
Okay, so every year we have to do this so we can continue getting RUP money to put towards our roads. This is just a report of how we spent and received our RUP money last year, so I will scroll down to our summary to go over it.
So moved.
And then I'll just show it real quick. And then, so on here, you can just see that we received in $371,000 from road use, and we spent $313,000 out of there. We have an ending balance in the road use of $242. We're going to use some of that to pay for some of L Street going forward. So
I'll second.
that's the highlights.
I'll second.
Been moved by Monty, seconded by John. Roll call vote, please, for resolution 2023-72.
Harvey? Yep. Lucky?
Aye.
Feldhacker?
Aye.
Anderson?
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2023-72 passes. Jacob, thanks for your work on that report.
And Tracy.
And Tracy. Ordinance number 750, this would be the second reading ordinance amending the code, amending provisions pertaining to chapter 30.06, police officers appointed. We had the first reading, this is the second reading.
I make a motion to approve.
Been a motion by Patty, is there a second? Seconded by Monty. Roll call vote, please, for the second reading ordinance number 750.
Anderson?
Aye.
Feldhacker?
Aye.
Lucky?
Aye.
Harvey?
On a 4-0 roll call vote, second reading ordinance 750 passes. Next meeting will be the third reading and final. Agenda item number 9, ordinance number 751, and the second reading pertaining to chapter 21.02, parent 23, regarding city administrator employment power. Is there a motion for that ordinance?
I make a motion.
Motion by Patty, is there a second?
Yep.
Seconded by Monty. Jacob, I'd call for a roll call vote for the second reading of ordinance number 751.
Feldhacker?
Aye.
Harvey? Anderson?
Aye.
Clucky?
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, second reading ordinance 751 passes. Last agenda item before adjournment was a consent agenda item from the Falcon 18, also doing businesses quick corner Class E retail alcohol license, automatic renewal. Is there a motion for that consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Motion by Patty, is there a second?
Second then.
Second by John. All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 4-0. Again, as Jacob said, we'll have interviews, Rob and I and Patty on Friday, so maybe Rob and Patty and I can get together prior to that and go through some of the organizational things. Last agenda item is adjournment. Our next regular meeting then will be October the 25th. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Moved by John, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Patty. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Thank you, everyone. Thanks for Rob and Jenny to be present with us on the phone. Hawarden City Council is now adjourned.
Might have to have
Oh, and we have questions for you for Friday. I think we just want you to show up a little bit earlier so that we can go over the interview questions.